Hey, this is AJ Donahue from Drum Magazine. I'm here with Joey Clabarda from Canopus Drums. You're going to tell us about some new stuff for 2016, including the new Harvey Mason signature snare drum. Joey.
Absolutely. The new Harvey Mason snare drum, it's an 8-piece walnut birch. So there's walnut on the outside and 7 plies of birch on the inside. They worked really closely with Harvey on this snare drum. It's an all-around work beast. Everything from recording to live. How you tune it, you can tune it sensitivity-wise, depth-wise. And as you can see, it doesn't choke.
Yeah.
You know, a lot of times walnut has a tendency of choking. And Harvey Mason, like I said, designed it with us. It took about a year of designing, and we're really proud to have it on our team.
So with just 1 ply of walnut on the outside, how much does that influence the sound?
You know, the owner is really a consummate professional and really a purist when it comes to sound. So the walnut is a very thinner ply than the outside, but the birch is, what's amazing is there are different densities of birch. Canadian birch, American birch, Russian birch still has that density that they used to have back in the 50s and the 60s. So this birch has actually got more density than your regular birches, but that's why it has a producing of a sound almost like your 60s Gretsch.
Okay.
You know, so it's a beautiful sounding snare.
Sure. And you guys, another signature snare drum you want to talk about?
Alfonso Mouzon, exactly.
Yeah. Tell us about that one.
Well, it's over here. Let's swing around. So, Alfonso's snare is an 11 ply. It has 9 plies of birch in the center, and it's sandwiched in between 2 plies of wedgewood. Wedgewood is a very extremely hard wood to work with. It has a natural tendency of wanting to fray and split. So there's a special technique that they use when they're steaming. I believe it's with sound vibration, but it's really incredible. It keeps wood together. So we can now use certain woods that were never able to be really worked with. Okay. All of our shells are still made by American manufacturers. So the technology is here, but as you can see, it's just a really beautiful wood grain.
Now, how does wedgewood affect the sound?
Wedgewood is an extremely hard wood. So when you're matching it with this type of birch, it has a beautiful attack. Obviously, die-cast tubes also create an interesting, rich sound.
That's huge.
I know.
That's tremendous.
Yeah, Alfonso was here yesterday. You know what? He said that he's worked with so many different companies, but the owner here has been doing this since 1978. He does not compromise. He has so much integrity. His drums are at an interesting price point, but that's because they don't make anything in Japan.
Right.
We have to bring everything there. So when we get our shells from America, we're shipping them there, and then we got to ship them back out.
Right.
The metal, the copper, everything. But he's not gonna waver from his integrity. In Japan, we're the largest selling boutique drums in Japan. We oversell Tama, Pearl, Yamaha, and Sakai. So when the Japanese people are looking for the ultimate boutique drum, they come to Canopus. To me, that says a lot, you know, and the proof is in the pudding, as they say.
Yeah. So you had a couple of new kits you want to talk about as well, right?
Right. We have a new series. It's called the Yiba. Yiba basically means the blade's edge. We have the Yiba birch. That's a 10-12, 18 by 22 kick, 6.5 by 14 snare. And then we have the Yiba Bop kit. That's a 12, 14, 18 by 18 bass drum with a 5.5 snare. And these are our maple.
Yeah.
With the birch kit, you have, as I was talking about, the Russian birch that gives a much more warmer, deeper tone. And if you listen, I'll give you a feeling for it.
Sure.
sweet, right?
Pretty big.
Right?
Yeah.
The kick is also in there too. No pillow, no hole in the front, and it's just giving you all the love you want. You know what I mean?
Huge.
And the way the kit really, for me, the tonality of the actual bottom heads really makes the entire kit sing in a certain way.
Yeah.
That's truly unique.
Yeah. And so I think we're going to wrap up with the 30th anniversary
the
Zelkova.
Zelkova, yeah.
Let's do it.
Zelkova, I don't even know. This is a 30-year anniversary. I was introduced to this snare in 2000, so obviously 16 years ago. It's a hollowed-out tree trunk. It's a one-piece hollowed-out tree trunk. So Zelkova is redwood that they used to make the large taiko drums. So when they use the whole tree for the taiko, they've never used the stump, the actual bottom piece. So he's been taking the stumps of the tree and hollowing them out. So when he hollows it out to about a 4-inch wide depth, and he lets it sit for 2 years to pull out the moisture as slowly as possible. Then they lathe it down to another 1.5 inches, and they let it sit for another 2 years. At the end of the 4-year period, it takes a year to get the body to the shape that it is and make it to perfection. It's 200-year-old redwood that takes 5 years to make one snare drum.
Wow.
That's integrity.
So the 30th anniversary, tell us about what's different about this one.
Well, what we did is we added gold hardware for the hoop, and we did really 24-karat gold dust inlay in the actual grain.
Wow.
So, and we usually use an olive brown, where this is what we call Heaven's Gold, is the name of this. And if you look at it, you'll see, obviously, that you can tell that by the wood grain, it's one piece, it's a trunk, but we do this super knife edge. It's one of the sharpest edges you'll find on a snare. And it really helps with just creating a huge, level of all over the head. You've got tonality, and from the center all the way to the out, there's many different places to play on this snare. And if you look, you'll see it's a little bit smaller. It's 13 3/4. Reason being because it's a tree trunk. It will breathe. It'll expand during heat, it'll contract. So we need to give that so the body can move back and forth. Same thing, we don't put a porthole because it would go back and forth. It would shrink back and forth. So, and if you look at it, if you can kind of see forward, it's a barreled edge. I don't know if you can see how this is round up here at the top. It's round because it's a tree trunk. We don't want it to split. We want it to be there for a lifetime. So that round edge that kind of almost makes it look like a mini taiko drum is very much a part of the process of making sure that it lasts forever.
Since it kind of breathes so much, as you said, you guys notice any difference in sound at different temperatures?
I'm in Vegas, so it can get super hot, as everybody knows, during the summer, and it can get super cold during the winter.
Right.
It seems like it's always balanced to me. It seems because they did that difference of the 13 inches,
Right.
It's okay how it spreads back and forth. And obviously every snare needs a little tightening up whenever you get to it. But for the most part, it hangs in there like it's a soldier,
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Great. Joey, thank you so much.
No, thank you. This is it. NAMM Show 2016 winner.
This is it. All right.
And if anybody needs any information, go to canopusdrums.com.
Perfect.
Thank you so much.